Have you ever found yourself wondering if the way you touch yourself today is still what your body truly needs, especially as you move through your 60s and beyond? If so, you're not alone. This is one of the most common and private questions older men share with me. It's not only about whether it's still okay to masturbate, because the answer is yes, absolutely. It's also about how to do it in a way that feels good, supports your health, and respects the changes your body has gone through over the years. I'm Dr. Emma Blake, and over the course of my career, I've spoken with thousands of men who want to stay connected to their bodies, confident in their sexuality, and strong and dignified as they age. What I've learned is that very few men ever get the chance to talk openly about this topic, and because of that, many live with quiet questions, confusion, or even guilt. So let's have the honest conversation that's rarely had. Let's talk about how to touch yourself in a way that protects your health, nourishes your nervous system, supports your prostate and circulation, and most importantly, helps you feel more connected to who you are. The first thing I want to say is this: masturbation is normal. It's natural. It's not a problem, and it certainly doesn't have an expiration date. It doesn't stop being healthy at 40, 50, 60, or 80. In fact, when done gently and with awareness, it can be one of the simplest ways to support male health as you get older. Regular, mindful self-stimulation helps maintain healthy blood flow to the penis, which in turn keeps the rectal tissue responsive. It supports prostate health by promoting circulation in the pelvic area. It reduces stress hormones like cortisol, which not only lowers tension but also protects your immune system and cardiovascular health. And for many men, it's a natural sleep aid, calming the nervous system so you can rest more deeply at night. But here's the key: your body isn't the same as it was at 25, and it's not meant to be. That's not a failure or dysfunction, it's biology. With age, the skin becomes thinner and more sensitive to friction. Nerve endings often take longer to respond. Blood vessels are less elastic, which means circulation is slower to build. Testosterone levels shift, which changes the way arousal feels and the amount of stimulation needed. All of these changes are normal, but they do mean that the way you care for your body has to evolve. The problem is that many men keep approaching self-pleasure the same way they did in their 20s, fast, forceful, and outcome-driven. When they find that this no longer works, they often feel frustrated or ashamed. Some even stop altogether, thinking their body is broken or that desire itself should fade away. But that isn't true. What's happening is that your body is asking for a different approach. Think of it this way: at 25, you might have treated your body like a sports car, quick acceleration, lots of speed, little thought about wear and tear. At 65, your body is more like a classic car. It still runs beautifully, but it needs more care, more patience, more gentle handling. When you give it that, it rewards you with longevity, performance, and satisfaction. So how do you actually do that? First, by slowing down. One of the most common mistakes I see older men make is rushing through masturbation. They treat it like something to get over with, often quickly and in secret. The problem is that rushing keeps your body in a stress state. Your nervous system stays alert. Your blood vessels tighten, your breathing becomes shallow, and instead of entering a state of arousal and relaxation, your body thinks it's under pressure. You may climax, but you don't feel nourished or restored afterward. When you slow down, everything changes. Taking even 5 or 10 extra minutes allows your nervous system to switch from fight or flight into rest and relax. Your blood vessels open. Your heart rate finds a steady rhythm. Your breathing deepens, and sensitivity slowly returns. Touch begins to feel more pleasurable. You feel more connected to yourself, and instead of finishing with tension, you finish with ease. Another mistake is relying on too much pressure. The sensation decreases with age. It's tempting to grip harder, move faster, or use more friction just to get the job done. But the penis isn't designed for force. It's the structure of spongy blood vessels, fine nerves, and connective tissue that responds best to steady, gentle touch. Over time, a heavy grip can actually dull sensation, making it harder to respond to anything else. Some men even develop what's sometimes called death grip syndrome, where the penis adapts to one very specific kind of pressure and struggles to feel arousal with a partner. The solution is to soften your approach. Use a gentle, fragrance-free lubricant to reduce friction. Experiment with lighter strokes, slower movements, and different angles of touch. At first, this may feel less stimulating, but with patience, your body will adjust. Nerves begin to wake up, blood flow improves, and your range of sensation expands. Many men are surprised to discover that with time, lighter, slower touch becomes far more pleasurable than the aggressive methods they once used. The third mistake is ignoring your emotions. This one is often overlooked, but it can be the most important. Many men carry quiet shame about masturbation, messages picked up in childhood, religious guilt, or simply discomfort with the changes of aging. Others feel lonely, frustrated, or disconnected from their body. These feelings don't just sit in your mind, they live in your muscles, your breath, your nervous system. They create tension, and tension shuts down pleasure. What heals this is compassion, reminding yourself that you are not broken, not behind, and certainly not past your prime. You are simply entering a new stage of life, one that asks for more gentleness and intention. If feelings of shame or doubt come up, acknowledge them with kindness. If you find yourself struggling, consider talking to someone you trust, whether that's a therapist, a doctor, or even a close friend. Sometimes the simple act of speaking aloud what you've held in silence for years can release more tension than you realize. So how do you create a healthy routine for self-pleasure at this stage of life? It starts with basics. Wash your hands and use clean towels to avoid irritation or infection. Choose a quiet, private space where you won't be interrupted. A good lubricant is worth investing in, ideally unscented and gentle on the skin. Then, take your time. Focus less on the end result and more on the experience itself, the warmth, the rhythm of your breath, the sensation of touch, the way your body slowly responds. And most importantly, listen to your body. If you feel pain, tightness, or unusual discomfort, don't ignore it. These can be signs of inflammation, circulatory strain, or even a prostate issue that deserves medical attention. Healthy self-pleasure should feel restorative, not harmful. I often remind men that rediscovering their bodies later in life is not regression, it's evolution. You're not going backwards, you're learning forwards. Your body may not respond the way it did at 25, but that doesn't make it less worthy of care or pleasure. In fact, many men find that when they adapt their approach, their experiences of self-pleasure in their 60s and 70s are richer, deeper, and more satisfying than ever before. Your body still matters. Your pleasure still matters. Your confidence still matters. And the connection you have with yourself is worth protecting at every age. So the next time you take that moment for yourself, release the pressure to perform. Let go of guilt. Slow down. Breathe deeply. Touch with care, and give yourself the gift of presence, because you deserve to feel good in your body, not just once in a while, but for as long as you live. If this conversation has helped you, I would be honored if you stayed with me for more. I speak openly, without shame, about the real issues that men face as they age, because your health, your function, and your fulfillment matter at every stage of life. Until next time, stay strong, stay curious, and most of all, take good care of yourself.